Welcome back to the new SEC podcast. Sooners fans, college football fans. I'm Hunter Ziesman here with Randall Ledet Jr. We're talking under the radar players, some guys who maybe aren't getting as much national coverage, or guys that we're, excited to see have a breakout season. This is an interesting one here for Oklahoma. Pretty star player, coming in from the ACC that we'll reveal in a second. But why I think it's a little under the radar, this is a defensive team. The defense is what gets a lot of the coverage. You get some John Mateer stuff, but everyone's excited about the defense. I think this year you have a rising wide receiver moving up the ranks that could be a premier SEC wide receiver that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and unveil it here. Wide receiver Trell Harris from Virginia, the Virginia Cavaliers. We saw him last season, 847 yards, 5 touchdowns, 59 receptions at UVA. UVA had a good season, made it to the conference championship. And what I think this guy will do is, number one, replace Deion Burks and give Mateer another weapon alongside Satania to really help open up this passing game even more under the Arbuckle offense.
Yeah, and Satania is very surefire option for him. Someone that it always looked like a good outlet. Same with Burks. And I think what you bring with Trell Harris is someone just like that, a surefire target. He's got great hands, not very many drops. He's great at getting separation in man coverage. You saw that a lot at Virginia, especially 15 plus yards away from the line of scrimmage, getting that extra little yard here and there to make a less contested catch. And then I saw in zone coverage, he was really good at finding some soft spots. I think you have a guy who can do a little bit of everything here coming in from Virginia that gives Mateer options. They can open up the playbook a little bit, make him feel comfortable knowing that you bring Satania back, but you have a guy like this and Parker Livingston too coming over from Texas that are all great weapons.
Yeah, I know. I think I was kind of debating, do we pick Parker Livingston? Do we pick Trell Harris? And I think Trell, Parker's got a lot of notoriety and attention when you think about under the radar because of where he came from and what he did at Texas. This is a new guy coming into the SEC. And when you look at him, the game that impressed me the most was him against Duke the first time, right? 134 yards, 1 touchdown, the ACC conference champ. Trell certainly, like you said, can find those holes in the zone. And that's going to be critical when you talked about what he can do after the catch and getting passes downfield to help this offense. There was a big improvement from Oklahoma's passing offense from 2024, going from 119th in the FBS to 57th in the FBS in 2025. But it wasn't the splash that we expected with Mateer. They finished 9th in the SEC when it came to passing yards per game. Need to get that up to take this team from a playoff team, which was a great season, to a true national championship contender. And having Trell on your roster will certainly help with that.
Yeah, good yak guys, can get some yards after the catch. I think that's what a lot of these receivers are bringing in. I think that's always good to propel an offense. You talked about the Duke game. You got to look at the Stanford game too, 3 touchdowns in that one. I think what put him on the radar to people who weren't Virginia fans was early on in the Coastal Carolina game, that one-handed snag, which if I could put the highlight clip in, I mean, when I said great hands, I think that was a big piece of it. And that was early on and often throughout the season, a lot of targets throughout the year. 8 receptions, over 20 air yards. That was 6th in the ACC. One thing we've kind of talked about is transfers into the SEC. ACC wide receivers have had a lot of success as of late. You look at Isaiah Horton at Alabama, now at Texas A&M, Kevin Coleman Jr., Deuce Alexander, Casey Concepcion, Eric Singleton Jr. There's a lot of receivers that are coming to play in the SEC. He'll probably be the next one to have success, making that jump.
Yeah, I mean, you named some first rounders, some guys who I think are arguably the best receiver coming back in the conference next year with Isaiah Horton. So it'll be interesting to see what Trell will do at Oklahoma, and a lot of excitement coming into the season off of a playoff appearance and looking to continue to improve on the offensive side of the ball with a lot of the continuity they have coming back at the running back position. So any final thoughts on this player when it comes to under the radar and, continue to blossom in the SEC this year?
I think it's really how it fits into the entirety of this offensive change, bringing in the guys that they need, making a lot of changes at the tight end position. I think they're putting weapons in front of Mateer that make him feel comfortable. Also helps with his legs. When you have these guys who are causing a lot of distractions downfield, taking a lot of safety eyes. So I love the way that this entire offense is kind of fitting together for this year, and I expect a big jump.
Yeah. Same here. So Oklahoma fans, y'all were amazing last season tuning into our channel. If you haven't watched us before, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you have watched us before and you're not subscribed yet, why not? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you're back for this season, we got more content coming. We're super excited. College football season at this point, I think, is less than 95 days away. And so, as always, I'm Randall Nett Jr. We got Hunter Eastman. This is the new SEC podcast.